These are scenes that many people said wouldn't happen this election season. An unabashed progressive winning in a swing state in the heart of America's Rust Belt. A symbol of the so-called red wave stopped in its tracks. We're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, following the race for the US Senate that's pitted John Fetterman, a grassroots Democrat publicly recovering from a recent stroke.
If you believe that a human being should toil for $7.25 an hour, vote for the other person.
Against Mehmet Oz, a TV doctor accused of pushing pseudoscience, who's been endorsed by Donald Trump.
People who took this medication were able to lose 10% of their body weight. That degree of impact is large.
This is the last stop in my journey across the country, and we arrive 3 days before Election Day. The city is abuzz with politics, with two former presidents holding rival events on the same day. And the first stop is a downtown rally with Barack Obama, where the mood is one of cautious optimism.
It doesn't surprise me that it's close because Pennsylvania is a very split state, but I think he'll prevail.
I haven't been confident calling any races since the 2016 election.
Well, of course, if people do the right thing and get out and vote, they hopefully will vote for those that are honest and true and want our democracy back to what our founding fathers put it as.
But there are also warnings about the spread of disinformation.
If you read or see something that says they're the cause of all your problems, then it's safe to say it is garbage. It is a lie. It is dangerous poison. We've got to call it out and put an end to that kind of mindset.
Fetterman is the state's lieutenant governor, who began his political career as the mayor of a small post-industrial Pittsburgh suburb. And he's placed workers' rights and trade unionism at the heart of his campaign.
Send me to D.C. Raise the minimum wage? How can anybody live on $7.25 an hour? The union way of life is sacred. We have to expand health care. Exactly the same kind of health care that saved my life.
The morning was Obama, and now we're driving a few dozen miles out to the rural red suburbs for a very different rally with Donald Trump and Dr. Oz. Here, it felt like support for Dr. Oz was mostly down to party loyalty and a very different view of economic opportunity.
What do you guys think of Dr. Oz?
Way better than the option.
But not your first choice?
No. He was my only choice because Fetterman is a puppet.
Fetterman, and along with lots of other Democrats, stand for a national minimum wage, $15 an hour. Do you support that?
I think that's a little high.
Yeah, it sounds good right now, but $15 an hour to me is still not enough.
You think it should be more than that?
I think it would be, yeah. But it doesn't mean I agree with his perspective on it.
Doesn't that mean you're sort of voting against your own interests?
No.
Nobody working McDonald's, Burger King, other places should be making $15 an hour. And most of those places, once they're paying that, they can't afford to have the employees.
So you're okay with poverty wages, basically?
Yeah.
And the same for you?
Same.
Poverty wages?
Same, yeah.
I've been to a lot of Republican rallies during this campaign, but this one felt a little low energy.
John Fetterman believes Joe Biden didn't spend enough money, argued that he should have followed Bernie Sanders more. It would have put us trillions more in debt with higher inflation. He has argued for higher taxes.
Dr. Oz is centering this speech and most of his campaign on pretty classic fiscal conservatism, advocating for spending cuts. Actually, when you speak to people here, it's a pretty lukewarm reception for some of the stuff that he's saying. But what he does have is that all-important endorsement from Donald Trump.
The lack of enthusiasm felt like a direct contrast to the energy surrounding John Fetterman's campaign. And on the morning of the election, I headed out to meet volunteers with the Janitorial and Cleaners Union, door knocking with just hours to go before polls closed.
Hey guys, will we fight?
We win!
Will we fight?
We win!
Woo!
Okay. Oh, there's not much to even get.
I think the back of this car is the signal of a busy election season, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I like this teamwork.
Yeah. So I'm with the union. We're the pro-Democratic Party. Are you voting the whole Democrat ticket with us? Great. It's beautiful.
How are you feeling about John Fetterman?
I love John Fetterman.
I think he's going to win.
Realistically, I can't say that I have 100% confidence, but I feel like the people will come through for John Fetterman. For those people that would vote for Oz, I think you have to ask yourself, why in the world would he have come to Pennsylvania in the first place? What's his goal? It's not like all of a sudden he woke up and thought, well, I'll save Pennsylvania today.
Any kind of thinking, right?
There's something motivating him, and it's not helping the people of Pennsylvania. Exactly.
For both women, Fetterman's campaign connected to personal issues around basic rights and the cost of living.
And how has inflation affected you guys?
I mean, I've been pretty fortunate because I've worked during the whole entire pandemic, including in the gig economy. Uber, Grubhub, Instacart. I was doing Instacart, but
on top of your regular day job?
Oh yeah, because my hours are from...
And what's your regular day job? Sorry, I should ask.
Oh, I'm a cleaner, and a damn good one too.
For a lot of people, that would be an indicator that the economy isn't working so well for you. You know, you should be entitled to work one job and have downtime and be paid properly in that circumstance. I just wonder whether you think that's right.
Well, my reasons are selfish. I think my primary job would take care of my expenses, my living, like food, shelter, clothing, but I chose to do what I do, so...
It doesn't sound very selfish to me.
Okay, it doesn't? Okay, yeah. They know what the numbers are about. They know that if they pay people $15 or more, that people will be able to sustain themselves. They know this. They have all the information.
What is it like? What's it called? Like they want the feudal system. They want peasants, and pretty much like, look at me. I'm in my high castle, and you're a peasant.
On my way to election night parties, I stopped by the city of Braddock, where Fetterman served as mayor, to catch the last voters of the day.
My man is Fetterman. You done? He wanted his shirt.
How long have you been supporting John Fetterman for?
Ever since he been here.
Are you from Braddock?
Yes, been running this poll right here for 27 years.
27 years?
27 years. I'm 84 years old.
You must have seen a lot of change in 27 years.
Oh my gosh, yes. It has been rough, and he's trying to rebuild.
John Fetterman.
Yeah, he's trying to do his best. But you know, if you see that how people want to put him down, but still, he can only do so much.
There's been a lot of threats to poll workers since Trump lost 2020. Have you been threatened, and what do you think about other people that have had those threats?
If they get rid of democracy, what are we as people in America going to do? What are we going to do? There's no democracy, you know, because he thinks he's a king. He wants to be a dictator.
Tonight or tomorrow or maybe weeks from now, the balance of power in Congress will be decided. And that's something both Democrats and Republicans are already planning for, come what may.
As polls closed, I made my way to a local Republican watch party. The mood here was initially optimistic.
How are you feeling about tonight?
Very positive. I think it's going to be a red wave. Just been watching the percentages, and everything looks like it's going to be a really strong Republican night.
Yes, I think nationally we're going to see a strong victory. We're going to see wins in places like Oregon and maybe even Washington.
Statewide in Oregon.
Statewide in Oregon. I think we're going to see that.
Downtown, at Fetterman's watch party, people seemed willing to acknowledge how close the election was likely to be.
It's a close race. It's a very close race, neck and neck, but we'll see what happens. I'm still positive that more of the Democrats are going to win.
We are working people that are going to stay optimistic. We are fighters, we are mothers, and we know what to do.
But gradually, on the other side of town, reality began to sink in.
I'm a little disappointed in what the returns are because I really thought it would be a red wave, and it's not showing it up yet.
Obviously, the results of tonight weren't what we were all hoping for. As we start to look tomorrow and start to figure out where we go from here, Republicans absolutely need to change their attitudes in regards to mail-in ballots. Closing, I want you to go home, I want you to drive safely. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
All right.
And finally, the race was called.
This was a Senate race that was projected to go either way, really up until Election Day. While John Fetterman has won and the Democrats stand a very good chance of maintaining control of the Senate, what I think these midterms have shown us is that at least in part, there has been a nationwide rebuke to Trump-backed extremism around the country.
I'm not really sure what to say right now. My goodness. I'm proud of what we ran on. Protecting a woman's right to choose. Raising our minimum wage. Fighting the union way of life. Healthcare is a fundamental human right. It saved my life, and it should all be there for you if you ever should need it.
While the final balance of power in Washington is still being decided, the result in this vital Senate race is a reminder that authenticity and community action can still unlock real political power.